You are staring at a phone screen. You are reading a text message you sent 3 days ago. It says, "Hey, just checking in on that money." And right below it, you see the tiny, crushing indicator that tells you everything you need to know. Read. They saw it. They read it. And they chose not to answer. Pause for a second. Let that specific feeling of humiliation wash over you. Because this isn't just about the money. It's about the fact that you know, deep down, you are never going to see that money again. You worked for it. You traded your hours, your stress, and your life for that cash. And when they came to you, desperate, frantic, playing the victim, you didn't listen to the knot in your stomach. You listened to the voice in your head that says, "Be a good person." You listened to the script that says, "Good people help their friends." So you transferred it. You saved them. And now look at you. You are the one feeling guilty. That is the twisted irony of being a good person. You are sitting there, debating whether to send a second text, wondering if it makes you look petty or obsessive. You are worried about their feelings while they are currently spending your money on a dinner they didn't earn, laughing with people who aren't you. You are worried about making things awkward. They aren't worried. They are counting on your awkwardness. They are banking on your politeness. They know you better than you know yourself. They know that you would rather suffer in silence than cause a scene. And it's not just the money. The money is just the easiest thing to measure. It is the time. Think about last week. You were exhausted. You had a deadline. Your battery was at 1% emotional capacity. And the phone rang. You knew who it was before you looked. It was that friend. The one who is always in a crisis. The one whose life is a perpetual emergency. You didn't want to answer. You wanted to throw the phone across the room and sleep. But you answered. You answered because, good, people are always available. You answered because you are terrified of being called selfish. You sat there for 2 hours, listening to the same drama, the same complaints, the same circular problems they have no intention of fixing. You acted as their unpaid therapist. You absorbed their toxicity. You soothed their ego. And when they finally hung up, feeling lighter and better, you were left drained. You were a husk. Now, flip the script. Think about the last time you were the one bleeding. Think about the last time your world was collapsing. You reached out. You sent the text. "Hey, I'm really going through it right now." What happened? Did they drop everything? Did they stay on the phone for 2 hours? Or did you get the generic response? "Oh no, that sucks. Hope it gets better." Or worse, did they somehow manage to turn the conversation back to themselves within 30 seconds? I know how you feel. That reminds me of when I... And suddenly, you're comforting them about your tragedy. This is the reality of your life. You are the safety net for everyone else, but you are walking on a tightrope with no net beneath you. You are the good person. You are the reliable one. You are the rock. And do you know what rocks are? Rocks are things people step on to keep their shoes clean. Rocks are inanimate objects that don't have needs. You have constructed an entire identity around never saying no. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor. You tell yourself that this is what kindness looks like. You tell yourself that eventually, the world will balance the scales. You think there is a cosmic scoreboard where your points are adding up, and one day, people will treat you with the same sacrifice and loyalty you give to them. Here is the uncomfortable truth you need to swallow right now. There is no scoreboard. The world does not reward good people who have no boundaries. The world consumes them. You aren't being kind. You are being consumed. You are being eaten alive. One favor, one loan, one late-night phone call at a time. And the worst part? You are the one handing them the fork. You are teaching them that your time has no value. You are teaching them that your resources are free for the taking. You are teaching them that you are an endless resource that never needs replenishing. You feel that resentment building in your chest? That tightness. That is your survival instinct screaming at you. It is trying to tell you that you are being robbed. But you keep silencing it with this toxic definition of goodness. You suppress the anger because you think anger is bad. So the anger turns inward. It becomes depression. It becomes anxiety. It becomes that heavy, sinking feeling you wake up with every morning. You look at your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your boss, your best friend. You think, if I just give a little more, they'll see how much I care. If I just say yes one more time, they'll appreciate me. Wrong. If you give a little more, they will take a little more. If you say yes one more time, they will expect yes every time. You are not building a relationship based on mutual respect. You are building a relationship based on utility. You have made yourself useful. And tools are not loved. Tools are used until they break, and then they are replaced. This is not bad luck. This is not you just meeting the wrong people. This is a system you are actively participating in. A system designed to drain you dry while you smile and say, "No problem, happy to help." It is a problem, and you are not happy to help. You are dying to say no. Now let's zoom out. Because if this was just about one friend and one unpaid loan, you could write it off as a bad mistake. You could block the number and move on. But you can't move on, because you take you wherever you go. And wherever you go, the pattern repeats. It is printed on your DNA. Look at your relationship. You are sitting in the passenger seat of the car. It's Friday night. You've had a week from hell. You want pizza. You want to go home, put on sweatpants, and eat pizza. You say, "What do you want to do?" They say, "I was thinking we go to that loud bar downtown with my friends." Your stomach drops. That is the last thing you want. Every cell in your body is screaming no. But you look at them. You see the expectation in their eyes. You see the potential for disappointment. You see the potential for a fight. And your good person software kicks in. You smile. You say, "Sure, that sounds fun." You just lied. You lied to them. And worse, you lied to yourself. You spend the next 4 hours miserable, draining your battery, pretending to have a good time. And later, when you're quiet and withdrawn because you're exhausted, they ask, "What's wrong with you?" You're being weird. And you apologize. You apologize for being tired after doing exactly what they wanted you to do. You apologize for having needs. You have taught your partner that your preferences are optional. You have taught them that "I don't mind" is your permanent state of being. And then you wonder why they never ask what you want. Why would they? You've never shown them that you want anything. Now look at your job. It is 4:55 p.m. on a Friday. You have cleared your desk. You are ready to leave. Your coworker, the one who spends half the day scrolling TikTok, swivels his chair around. He has that look. "I messed up and I need a hero" look. "Hey, I'm so swamped, and I have that concert tonight. Could you just take a look at this report for me? You're so good at the details." Pause. He isn't swamped. He is disorganized. He isn't asking for a favor. He is offloading his responsibility. He is stealing your time to subsidize his laziness. A person with boundaries, a person who is respected, would say, "I can't today, I have plans." Good luck. But you? You are the good employee. You are the team player. You say, "Yeah, send it over. I'll handle it." He leaves. He walks out the door at 5 o'clock p.m. sharp. He goes to the concert. He has a beer in his hand by 6 p.m. And where are you? You are sitting under the fluorescent lights at 6:30 p.m., fixing his mistakes. You are doing the work of 2 people for the salary of 1. And here is the kicker. When promotion time comes, who gets it? Do they give it to the nice person who quietly fixes everything in the background? No. They give it to the guy who had the confidence to leave at 5 p.m. They view him as management material because he values his time. They view you as the workhorse. You don't put a plow horse in the race. You keep it in the field until it collapses. The pattern is identical. The girlfriend, the boss, the parents. Think about your family gatherings. Who is the one running around the kitchen? Who is the one smoothing over the arguments? Who is the one listening to the toxic aunt complain for 45 minutes? You. You are the emotional shock absorber for everyone else's dysfunction. You absorb the blows so the ride is smooth for everyone else. And nobody ever asks how the shock absorber is doing. They just expect it to work. You have convinced yourself that this makes you essential. If I don't do it, who will? Nobody. If you don't do it, the system breaks. And maybe the system needs to break. But you are too busy holding it together with your own sanity to let that happen. You are surrounded by people, yet you feel completely alone. And you feel alone because you have never shown anyone who you actually are. You have only shown them the mask. You have only shown them the servant, the fixer, the yes man, the nice guy, the good girl. You have trained the world to treat you like an NPC, a non-player character in the video game of their lives. You are there to offer quests, give rewards, and absorb damage. You are not the protagonist. And the hardest pill to swallow? You aren't a victim of their cruelty. You are a victim of your own permission. Let's strip away the label you've been hiding behind. Let's take that word, good, and look at what it actually means in the context of your life. You tell yourself, I am a good person. Your friends say, you're such a good guy. Your boss says, you're a good employee. But in their heads, they aren't spelling good as G-O-D. They are spelling it C-O-N-V-N-I-E-N-T. You are not being virtuous. You are being convenient. And there is a massive, life-altering difference between the two. A virtuous person has values they will fight for. A convenient person has resources they will surrender to avoid a fight. You are the latter. You have confused submission with kindness. You have confused having no boundaries with having a big heart. When you lend that money knowing you won't get it back, that isn't generosity. Generosity is giving freely because you want to. What you are doing is paying a tax. You are paying a tax to buy their approval. You are paying a fee to avoid the discomfort of saying no. You are buying the right to be liked. It is a transaction, a dirty, hidden transaction. You are acting like a vending machine. People walk up to you, press a button, and you drop what they want. You give them the time, the money, the emotional validation. And you think that because you gave them what they wanted, they will respect the machine. But people don't respect vending machines. They shake them when they get stuck. They kick them when they don't work. And when the machine is empty, they walk away. They don't hang out with the vending machine. They don't ask the vending machine how its day was. This is the gut punch realization you have been avoiding. Your relationships are conditional. Test it. I dare you. Stop dispensing. Stop saying yes. Stop fixing the problems. Stop lending the money. What happens? If you stop being useful, does the phone stop ringing? If you stop being the fixer, does the invitation disappear? If you stop doing the extra work, does the boss stop praising you? If the relationship collapses the moment you stop providing a service, you never had a relationship. You had a contract. And it was a contract you signed without reading the fine print. The fine print said, I will set myself on fire to keep you warm, and you will complain that the smoke is getting in your eyes. This is why you feel so empty. This is why, despite doing everything right, you feel like a ghost in your own life. Because you have erased yourself. You think you are being selfless. Selfless. Look at the word. Less self. You are systematically reducing yourself until there is nothing left but a series of functions performed for other people. You are a supporting character in everyone else's movie. You are the NPC who hands out the potions. And you are waiting for the moment when the camera turns to you, when the director yells, "Cut," and gives you the spotlight. But that moment never comes. Because you taught the director that you belong in the background. You are suffering from a disease called nice. Do not confuse nice with kind. Kindness is powerful. Kindness is telling a friend the truth that hurts because they need to hear it. Kindness is saying no to the loan because you know they need to learn financial responsibility. Kindness requires a spine. Niceness is weak. Niceness is lying to keep the peace. Niceness is enabling an addict because you don't want to deal with their rage. Niceness is doing someone's work because you're scared of their disapproval. Niceness is cowardice wrapped in a smile. That is the hardest thing to admit. You aren't just being exploited. You are being cowardly. You are terrified of the moment where you have to stand your ground. You are terrified of the conflict. You would rather be used than be disliked. And the world smells that fear on you. It is a pheromone. Predators, users, narcissists, and lazy people, they can smell a good person from a mile away. They swarm to you, not because you are special, but because you are an open door in a world of locked gates. You wonder why you keep attracting people who need saving? Because you are advertising that you are a savior who works for free. You have hung a sign around your neck that says, "Dump your garbage here. I won't complain." And then you wonder why your life smells like trash. Let's get into the mechanics of why this happens. This isn't just about bad luck or mean people. This is biological. This is psychological warfare, and you are bringing a fruit basket to a gunfight. There is a concept in psychology called the law of least effort. Humans are wired to conserve energy. If a person can get a resource, money, attention, work, without expending energy, they will take it. It is an evolutionary survival mechanism. When you offer yourself up as a resource with zero cost, you are triggering their predatory instinct. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher who stared into the abyss, warned us about this. He spoke of slave morality, the idea that the weak convince themselves that their weakness is actually a virtue. They tell themselves that being harmless is the same as being good. But Jordan Peterson puts it even more bluntly. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under control. You are harmless. And because you are harmless, you are prey. When you fail to set a boundary, you are not just being nice. You are signaling low status. In the primal part of the human brain, the lizard brain that governs dominance and hierarchy, you are flashing a neon sign that says beta. You are signaling that your time is less valuable than theirs, that your needs are secondary to theirs. And here is the dark truth about human nature. We do not respect things that are free. We value what is scarce. We value what we have to work for. We value the person who says no because that no implies that their yes costs something. When you give everything away for free, you devalue your own currency. You create inflation in the economy of your relationships. Your yes becomes worthless because it is guaranteed. It is like printing too much money. The more you print, the less it buys. Think about the shadow. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, explained that every human being has a shadow, the part of us that is capable of aggression, selfishness, and darkness. The good person tries to cut off their shadow. You repress your anger. You repress your selfishness. You repress your ability to fight back. You think this makes you pure. But Jung said, the sad truth is that man's real life consists of a complex of inexorable opposites, day and night, birth and death, happiness and misery, good and evil. If it were not so, existence would come to an end. By denying your dark side, you don't destroy it. You just hand the weapon to the other person. When you interact with a narcissist or a user, they are fully in touch with their shadow. They are comfortable with their selfishness. And when they meet you, someone who has rejected their own power, it is like a wolf meeting a sheep that has shaved itself and marinated itself in sauce. They don't just use you. They despise you for letting them do it. Have you ever noticed that? The people you help the most often treat you with the most contempt. You lend them money, and they get annoyed when you ask for it back. You do their work, and they critique how you did it. Why? Because deep down, they know they are exploiting you. And to justify that exploitation to themselves, they have to devalue you. They have to tell themselves, well, he's a pushover anyway. He deserves it. If he was smart, he wouldn't let me do this. They rationalize their cruelty by blaming your weakness. You are validating their bad behavior. Operant conditioning. B.F. Skinner. If you reward a behavior, it increases. Every time you say it's okay, when it's not okay, you are giving them a cookie. Every time you stay silent when they disrespect you, you are giving them a cookie. Every time you clean up their mess, you are giving them a cookie. You are training them to be monsters. You are the architect of your own misery. You aren't just the victim, you are the accomplice. You are handing them the bricks to build the wall that keeps you out. This is the mechanism. Your lack of boundaries is the vacuum that sucks in their toxicity. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you do not fill your space with your own personality, your own demands, and your own rules, someone else will fill it with theirs. And they will not be gentle about it. Here is the part where you will want to stop reading. Here is the part where you will want to click away, because the mirror I am about to hold up is going to show you something ugly. You have spent years telling yourself a story. The story is, I am a victim of my own kindness. I give too much. I care too much. My flaw is that I love too hard. It is a beautiful story. It makes you the tragic hero. It makes you the saint in a world of sinners. But it is a lie. You are not being nice because you are overflowing with love. You are being nice because you are terrified. Your goodness is a defense mechanism. It is a suit of armor you wear to protect yourself from the things you fear most: rejection, conflict, abandonment, anger. You aren't doing these favors for them. You are doing them for you. You are buying safety. Think about it. When you say yes to something you hate, what are you actually doing? You are managing the other person's emotional state. You are trying to control their reaction. You are thinking, if I do this, they won't get mad. If I do this, they won't leave. If I do this, they will have to like me. That is not kindness. That is manipulation. You are trying to manipulate the world into being safe for you. You are trying to bribe people into loving you because you don't believe you are lovable just for existing. You believe you have to pay rent for the space you occupy. You believe that if you aren't useful, you are worthless. This is what psychologists call a covert contract. Dr. Robert Glover talks about this in No More Mr. Nice Guy. You have signed a secret contract with everyone in your life, but you never showed them the paper. The contract reads, I will do everything for you. I will never have needs. I will never get angry. And in return, you must love me, never leave me, and give me exactly what I want without me having to ask for it. And when they don't fulfill this contract, a contract they didn't even know existed, you get furious. You get resentful. You sit there seething, thinking, after everything I did for them. That rage, that resentment, that is the proof that you weren't being generous. If it was a gift, there would be no strings attached. But it wasn't a gift. It was a loan. And now you are mad because the debt isn't being paid. You are addicted to the feeling of being the good one. It gives you a sense of moral superiority. When you are the martyr, you get to look down on the people using you. You get to say, "Look how selfish they are," which implies, "Look how holy I am." It is a twisted ego trip. You get to be the victim and the saint at the same time. But there is a darker reason, too. Being the good person is easy. Hear me out. It is hard to say no. It is hard to negotiate. It is hard to stand in the tension of a disagreement and not fold. That takes courage. That takes strength. Saying yes, that's the path of least resistance. It resolves the immediate tension. It makes the anxiety go away for a moment. You are choosing the easy way out every single time, and then complaining that you ended up in a hard place. You are using niceness to hide from life. You are hiding from the reality that you are responsible for your own happiness. If you are always busy fixing other people's lives, you never have to look at your own. You never have to face your own mediocrity, your own lack of direction, your own emptiness. You can just point to your busy schedule of helping others and say, "I'm too busy being a saint to work on myself." It is a distraction, a noble-looking, self-destructive distraction. You aren't a victim of their selfishness. You are a victim of your own fear. You are scared that if you stop providing value, you will cease to exist to them. And you would rather be used than be ignored. You would rather be a doormat than be alone. And until you admit that you are getting a payoff from this dynamic, you will never change. You will keep buying tickets to the same show and complaining about the ending. Let's look at your bank account. Not the number, but the story it tells. The financial leech doesn't usually start with a robbery. They don't put a gun to your head. They put a sad story in your ear. "Bro, I'm just a little short until payday. My car broke down. My dog got sick. The bank made a mistake." It's always a crisis. And it's always urgent. You feel that pinch in your gut. You worked hard for that money. Maybe you were saving for a vacation. Maybe you were saving for a deposit on an apartment. But you look at their desperate face. You hear the panic in their voice. And you fold. How much do you need? You transfer the money. 500. 1,000. Maybe more. And for a split second, you feel like a hero. You save the day. They are so grateful. "Thank you so much. I promise I'll get this back to you on Friday." Seriously, you're a lifesaver. Friday comes. Radio silence. You wait. You check your phone. Nothing. Saturday comes. You open Instagram. And what do you see? There they are. The person who was broke on Tuesday. The person who was desperate. They are at a club. They are holding a drink that costs $20. They are wearing a new jacket. They are tagging themselves at a steakhouse. Pause. Look at that image. They are eating your money. They are drinking your labor. And what do? Do you comment? "Hey, that looks fun. Where's my money?" No. You scroll past. You feel sick. You feel stupid. But you don't say anything. Because you don't want to be the buzzkill. You don't want to be the guy who talks about money. It feels dirty to you. This is the ATM dynamic. You have taught them that you are a financial buffer for their poor decisions. They don't need to budget. They don't need to save. They don't need to worry about consequences. Why? Because they have you. You are their insurance policy. And notice the power dynamic here. When you lend money to a friend, the relationship changes instantly. You are no longer peers. You are the creditor, and they are the debtor. But in a twisted turn of events, the debtor holds the power. They have your money. You are now waiting on them. You are now dependent on their goodness to pay you back. And because they are takers, they sense this. They know you are hesitant to ask. They know you value the friendship more than the cash. So they hold it hostage. And if you finally work up the courage to ask, if you finally send that awkward text, "Hey man, really need that cash back," watch how they react. They don't apologize. They get defensive. "Relax, I'm good for it. Why are you stressing me out? I thought we were friends." Sudden reversal. Now you are the bad guy. You are the greedy one. You are stressing them out. They gaslight you into feeling guilty for wanting your own property back. This is the cost of being nice. You literally pay for it. You are subsidizing their lifestyle at the expense of your future. Every dollar you give them is a dollar you steal from your future self. You are stealing from your retirement, your security, your freedom. And for what? To keep a friend who values a vodka tonic more than your trust? Realize this. A loan to a friend is rarely a loan. It is a gift. If you aren't prepared to never see that money again, don't give it. But deep down, you know why you give it. You think you are buying loyalty. You think, if I help them now, they'll be there for me when I'm down. Wrong. When you are down, when you are broke, when you need help, the financial leech will be gone. They will move on to the next host. Because parasites don't nurse their hosts back to health. They feed until the host is dry, and then they find a new vein. You aren't an investor in their potential. You are an enabler of their dysfunction. And as long as you keep the wallet open, they have zero reason to change. Now let's look at the energy in your life. Because money you can earn back. Time and emotional bandwidth. Once those are gone, they are gone forever. Enter the emotional vampire. You know exactly who this is. The moment their name pops up on your screen, your shoulders tense up. You let out a sigh you didn't know you were holding. But you answer. You always answer. "Oh my God, you will not believe what he did to me today." And just like that, you are held hostage. They don't ask how you are. They don't check in. They launch immediately into the monologue. The drama. The crisis. The same crisis they had last week, and the week before that, and the month before that. You sit there. You listen. You make the soothing noises. "Uh-huh. That's terrible. You deserve better." You are acting as a therapist, but you aren't getting paid $200 an hour. You are paying them with your life force. You try to offer a solution. You say, "Well, maybe you should just block him. Or why don't you talk to HR?" And what do they say? Yeah, but it's complicated. Yeah, but I can't do that right now. Yeah, but you don't understand. Pause. They do not want a solution. If they solved the problem, they would lose the attention the problem gives them. They don't want to be fixed. They want to be heard. But more accurately, they want to vomit. Imagine they are carrying a bucket of toxic emotional waste. It's heavy. It smells. It hurts to carry. They call you up, and they pour that bucket all over you. They dump their anxiety, their rage, their chaos into your lap. And when they hang up, they feel great. They feel lighter. They say, "Thanks, I feel so much better talking to you." Of course they do. They just emptied their trash into your living room. But you hang up the phone and you feel exhausted. You feel heavy. You are now carrying the toxic waste they dumped on you. You spend the rest of your night ruminating on their problems. You are stressed about a situation that has nothing to do with you. Now, let's flip the dynamic. The day comes when you break. The day comes when you are the one carrying the bucket. You meet them for coffee. You sit down. You look them in the eye and say, "Honestly, I'm really struggling right now. My mom is sick, or I think I might lose my job." Watch them closely. Watch their eyes. They glaze over. They look at their phone. They look around the room. They give you 3 seconds of generic sympathy. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. And then, the pivot. That reminds me of when my aunt was sick. At least you have a job. My boss is being such a nightmare right now. And suddenly, within nearly 30 seconds, the conversation is back on them. You are sitting there, bleeding out, and they are talking about their paper cut. You leave that interaction feeling lonelier than if you had stayed home alone. This is the one-way street. You have accepted a role in their life. You are the container. You are the emotional toilet. You exist to receive their waste, flush it away, and be ready for the next load. Toilets don't have needs. Toilets don't get to complain. And why do you stay? Because they sprinkle just enough breadcrumbs to keep you starving. They call you their rock. They tell you, you're the only one who gets me. That flatters your ego. You like being the strong one. You like being the wise sage. You think, I'm a good friend because I listen. No, you are an enabler. By listening to the same circular complaints for years without demanding change, you are validating their victimhood. You are teaching them that complaining is a viable strategy for stress relief. You are preventing them from actually growing up and dealing with their lives. And you are destroying your own peace. You are surrounded by people, yet you are emotionally starving. You are feeding everyone else, but no one is feeding you. And that is not noble. That is suicide by 1,000 cuts. You have to realize that some people are black holes. No matter how much light, love, or energy you pour into them, they will never be full. They will consume until you collapse. And when you collapse, when you have nothing left to give, they won't try to save you. They will just go find another battery to drain. Walk into your office on a Tuesday morning. Look around. There are 2 types of people in this room. Type A is the guy in the corner office. He walks in 5 minutes late. He complains loudly about the coffee. He delegates the boring tasks. He leaves at 5 p.m. on the dot because he has plans. And when he talks in meetings, he interrupts people. He is confident. He is slightly arrogant. He is difficult. Type B is you. You are at your desk 10 minutes early. You make the coffee when the pot is empty. You take the notes in the meeting. You say yes to the extra project because the team needs support. You stay until 7 p.m. because you want to make sure everything is perfect. Now, answer this question honestly. Who is getting promoted next month? You think it's you. You think, the boss sees how hard I work. The boss sees that I'm the first one in and the last one out. Justice will prevail. Wake up. The guy in the corner office is getting promoted. Why? Because he has established value. He has established that his time is expensive. He has established that he is a prize to be won, not a utility to be used. You have established that you are free labor. This is the competence penalty. It is the dark law of the corporate world. The reward for being good at digging holes is a bigger shovel. When you finish your work early and then offer to help others, you are not being a team player. You are telling management, my workload is too light. Give me more. So they do. They dump the slacker's work on your desk. The guy who spends 2 hours on Instagram, you are doing his job now. And what happens to him? Does he get fired? No. He gets to schmooze. He gets to network. He gets to have lunch with the boss while you are eating a sandwich at your keyboard, fixing his spreadsheets. You are making him look competent by cleaning up his mess. You are the invisible glue holding the department together, but nobody pays for glue. They pay for the shiny object. Think about the last time you asked for a raise. Wait, you haven't asked, have you? You are waiting for them to give it to you. You are waiting for the annual review. You are waiting for them to tap you on the shoulder and say, we noticed you suffering in silence. Here is an extra $10,000. That conversation is never going to happen. Companies are not families. We are a family here is the biggest lie in the corporate dictionary. It is a phrase designed to manipulate you into emotional loyalty for a financial transaction. A family doesn't fire you when quarterly earnings are down. A family doesn't replace you 2 weeks after you die. And that is the grim reality. If you drop dead at your desk right now, the HR department would have your job posting up on LinkedIn before your body was cold. They would send flowers to your funeral, and by Monday, someone else would be sitting in your chair. Yet you sacrifice your health, your sleep, and your relationships for this entity. You are the professional martyr. You wear your burnout like a badge of honor. I'm so busy. I'm so swamped. You say it like a brag. It isn't a brag. It is a confession that you have no control over your life. You are afraid that if you say no to the extra work, you will be fired. But look at the difficult people. Look at the people who set boundaries. Are they fired? No. They are respected. When the difficult person says, "I can't do that," the boss thinks, "Okay, we need to prioritize their time." When you say, "I can't do that," the boss thinks, "What's wrong with them?" They usually say yes. You have trained them to expect total submission. So any deviation feels like rebellion. You are terrified of being seen as not a team player. So you become the team's servant. You let people talk over you in meetings. You let people take credit for your ideas. "I just wanted to add," you whisper, and then the loud guy repeats exactly what you just said, but louder. "Great idea, Mike," the boss says. And you sit there, silent, seething, drinking your cold coffee. You are not safe. You are not secure. You are just cheap. And in the business world, cheap things are used up and thrown away. You think you are building a career? No. You are just digging a very deep, very comfortable grave for your potential. We are done blaming them. We are done blaming the narcissist for being a narcissist. We are done blaming the user for using. We are done blaming the boss for exploiting. A shark eats. That is what sharks do. You don't get mad at a shark for biting you when you jump into the water bleeding. You ask yourself, "Why did I jump in?" It is time to look in the mirror. And this is going to hurt more than anything we have discussed so far. You are the common denominator. You are the one who set the standard. You are the one who drew the line in the sand. And then, when they stepped over it, you stepped back. And then they stepped over it again. And you stepped back again. You have retreated so many times that you are now standing on the edge of a cliff, and you are wondering why you have no room to move. You taught them. Every human being walks around with an invisible instruction manual taped to their forehead. It says, "Here is how you are allowed to treat me." Some people's manuals say, "If you disrespect me, I leave." Some people's manuals say, "My time is expensive, do not waste it." Your manual says, "I am infinite. I have no needs. You can interrupt me. You can cancel on me. You can mock me. I will still be here." Think about the last time someone interrupted you. You were speaking. They cut you off. And what did you do? Did you say, "Hold on, I wasn't finished"? Did you keep talking? No. You stopped. You closed your mouth. You looked down. You let them take the floor. In that microsecond of silence, you trained them. You taught them, "My voice is less important than yours." You validated their dominance. You gave them permission to do it again. And they will do it again. Not because they are evil, but because you showed them it costs nothing to silence you. Think about the friend who is always late. They showed up 45 minutes late. Again, no good excuse. Just traffic was crazy. You were sitting there for 45 minutes, stewing. You were angry. You felt disrespected. But when they sat down, What did you say? It's okay. No worries. I just got here too. You lied. You rewarded their disrespect with a smile. You relieved them of their guilt immediately. You taught them, my time has no value. You can steal 45 minutes of my life, and I will thank you for it. Why would they ever show up on time? You have removed the consequence for being late. This is the hard truth about the good person. You are an accomplice to your own mistreatment. You think you are keeping the peace, but you aren't keeping the peace. You are keeping the war inside you so they can stay comfortable. You tolerate the jokes that sting. You laugh along when they make fun of you because you don't want to be too sensitive. You apologize when they bump into you. You say, I don't care, when you actually care deeply. You are signaling to the world that you are a non-player character. You are signaling that you are background noise, and the world treats you accordingly. Do not dare call yourself a victim of bad luck. You are a volunteer. You signed up for this shift. You put on the uniform. You clocked in. Every time you swallowed your truth, you laid a brick in the wall of your own prison. You think, if I just love them enough, they will change. Wrong. If you love them without boundaries, they will never change. Why should they? You have made it so easy for them to stay exactly the same. You are the enabler of the very behavior you hate. You want respect? Respect is not given. Respect is negotiated. And you have been a terrible negotiator. You have folded every hand. You have bluffed with empty cards. You look at your life and see a collection of people who don't appreciate you. But ask yourself, have you ever given them a reason to appreciate you? Or have you only given them reasons to expect you? Scarcity creates value. You are abundant. You are everywhere. You are always available. You are cheap air. And until you realize that you are the one holding the pen, you are the one writing the instruction manual, nothing will change. You will change cities, change jobs, change partners, and you will find the exact same dynamic waiting for you. Because you are taking the problem with you. This is the end of the line. You can't unread this. You can't unsee the strings on your limbs. You are standing at a fork in the road. And you have exactly two choices. Option A, you stay the good person. You close this video. You go back to your life. You answer that text. You lend that money. You swallow that anger. And here is your future. 10 years from now, you are exactly where you are today, but tired. So much more tired. Your face is etched with the lines of 1,000 fake smiles. You are surrounded by people who do not know you. They only know what you do for them. You have no savings because you gave it away. You have no passion because you spent it fixing others. And when you die, they will come to your funeral. They will say, he was such a nice guy. She was so sweet. He would give you the shirt off his back. And then they will go to lunch. They will complain that the service is slow. And by the time the appetizers arrive, they will have forgotten you. Because you left no impact. You were frictionless. You were a resource that ran dry. That is the path of the martyr. It is a slow, quiet suicide. Option B, you become the monster. You decide, right now, that you are done being nice. You are going to start being real. This is the terrifying choice. Because the moment you stop playing by their rules, they will attack you. When you first say no, they will call you selfish. When you stop lending money, they will call you greedy. When you set a boundary, they will say you've changed. You've changed. Your answer? Yes, I have. You need to integrate your shadow. You need to find that part of you that is capable of teeth. You need to find the part of you that can look a predator in the eye and say, not today. This is not about being cruel. This is about being dangerous enough to be respected. Here is your training regimen. 1. The no without excuses. Next time you say no, do not offer an explanation. Don't say, I can't come because my mom is visiting and I have a headache. Say, I can't make it. Full stop. Do not justify your existence. You don't need a permission slip to govern your own life. The excuse is where you give away your power. Keep the excuse. Keep the power. 2. The awkward silence. When someone asks for a favor that feels wrong, or when someone insults you, pause. Do not rush to fill the silence. Look at them. Count to 3. Let the silence hang in the air like smoke. That silence forces them to sit with what they just asked. It forces them to feel the weight of their own audacity. The person who speaks first loses. Be the one who waits. 3. Let them be disappointed. This is the hardest one. You have to be okay with them being mad at you. Their anger is not your crisis. Their disappointment is not your failure. Let them throw the tantrum. Watch it like you are watching a thunderstorm from behind a glass window. It is noisy, it is wet, but it cannot touch you. If they leave because you set a boundary, hold the door open for them. They were never your friend. They were a tenant, and you just raised the rent. You are going to lose people. You are going to lose the leeches. You are going to lose the users. You are going to lose the narcissists who need a doormat. Let them go. What remains will be the people who respect you. The people who want you, not your utility. The people who can handle a no because they respect your yes. This is the transition from good to respected. It is better to be respected than to be liked. Likability is cheap. It's candy. Respect is iron. It lasts. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Put the fire out. Sit in the cold if you have to. But for the first time in your life, sit in your chair, in your house, living by your rules. The good person is dead. Long live the real person. The choice is yours.